this was definitely an interesting time to do a SOLE because it was at the end of a day where we just finished testing. We had another test the following day. So they were a bit loopy when we came back in the room from special to get started with this. And when I presented the question immediately, where all of them jumped to is social media and YouTube and a group of boys that just got completely sidetracked for about 15 minutes on Fortnite discussion until they realized there's more to the internet than that. But I was very impressed with the presentations that they came up with. I for some reason wasn't able to get it loaded on, but I posted on Twitter of a video of one of the presentations these students created a rap song, and they had a dance in the background. So as they're doing that, the other groups start seeing that, and there's two other groups that start doing that. And there was only one group that I was kind of disappointed in there that they didn't put as much effort into their presentation as they could have. But it's definitely been something because I had a 4-5 split class last year, so I have 8 students that I had last year, so they're very familiar with how we do this. And most of the others had it in the room when they were in 4th grade as well, but just done a little differently. But we've really made a turn to where they're not so focused on what their poster board says and what's on there, and more focused on how they present what they actually learned and that they can actually communicate that. And I'd say probably the last 3 or 4 really improved on the presentations. And I can say one thing that initially was a little hard for them to get started and focus on was they're so used to SOLE like directly having to do with whatever it is that we're learning. And this one was such a broad topic that wasn't exactly on what we're studying right now. So it took them a little time to wrap their heads around that. But once they got going, there was some very impressive research and presentations done. And as you can see, they know how to get comfortable while doing their research. They started with a lot of Fortnite and social media, and then once they started, I think the funniest comment I heard was when one group actually Googled what is the internet, and they're like, I'm asking the internet what it is. And started to think about like what the response is going to be. But once they started looking into it deeper, they definitely got a lot deeper in their knowledge of it. I think what really surprised me the most was the different avenues of their research went to kind of once they got past the initial social media and Fortnite and all that, that they didn't totally rely on prior knowledge that they already have of a topic. And because it's such an open-ended question and it's such a huge topic that involves so many different things, so many different areas. There's some kids looking in so many different areas that they really weren't even aware of. So they learned a lot through their research, especially. I think even more than they would on one that's more specified with what we're learning at the time. I think one of my groups that presented about, and we talked about when we were closing and wrapping up, was a lot of discussion about different careers. And where my kids grew up, it's not really something that's very common for them to really like understand or really be knowledgeable about. So I think that really opened up a lot of their eyes to it. Actually, after it did a conference call because my brother worked for Uber in Amsterdam and talked to them about, how working for an app and working for an internet company affected him. So I think that's something that really might be as far as like their future and their career path down the line that some of them might be interested in. So just kind of how it can affect them and impact them in the future.